Good evening and welcome to Gravitas. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay. Let's get started. Tonight we focus on Sri Lanka, an island nation in the Indian Ocean, a neighbor of India and a country sinking in Chinese debt. This story is for the people of Sri Lanka. They've been suffering for months now. The price of everything has shot through the roof. There's been talk of quote-unquote bankruptcy of the government. India gave them a $1 billion line of credit recently. The IMF has given Sri Lanka 16 bailouts, second only to Pakistan. But the ruling family of Sri Lanka keeps going back to China to seek more Chinese money and to push their country deeper into Chinese debt. We're talking about the Rajapaksas. They control the country and the government. As of today, Sri Lanka's external debt stands at over $45 billion, but their reserves are less than $800 million. It seems like an impossible gap to bridge. How will Colombo do it? It has deployed the army on the streets after people started dying waiting for fuel. The situation is extremely dire, and that's an understatement. On Gravitas tonight, we'll bring you the full story. Picture this. Long power cuts, an acute shortage of food, long lines at petrol stations, factories shutting down, people dying on the streets, troops deployed in cities. Sounds like Ukraine, doesn't it? Except it's not. I'm not talking about Ukraine, I'm talking about Sri Lanka tonight. All of what I just said is happening in Sri Lanka. The country is facing an economic Armageddon. People have taken to the streets. Take a look at this. Can't do it, go home. Gota, go home. Gotabaya, go back to America. These are the slogans being chanted. The Rajapaksas used to be Sri Lanka's most popular leaders. Today, they're facing the worst protests since coming to power. Sri Lankans want them out. They're angry, and the reason is an economic meltdown. They're struggling to make ends meet. And this crisis has been on for months now. It's going from bad to worse. In the last 72 hours, at least 4 people have died waiting in queues. They wanted some petrol. They died waiting for it. Now the army has been deployed at petrol stations. The situation is really bad. It has triggered an exodus of Sri Lankans. 6 of them were caught entering Indian territory. When asked why they were coming to India, they said they cannot afford to live in Sri Lanka anymore. How did things come to such a pass? How does Sri Lanka plan to deal with this crisis? In the next 4 minutes, we'll try and explain. First of all, let me tell you how bad the situation is. The cost of everything has shot up dramatically. Food prices have gone up by 25%, medicines by 29% just this month. And I'm talking about basic medicines like paracetamol. Drug prices are set by the government and